I think I've completely frozen. Okay, and hello, as the music fades out, hopefully it's gone now, but welcome everyone to Geek Battle, and let's see if I've completely frozen. I have completely frozen. I know how to solve this, don't worry, I'm going to solve it, otherwise this is going to be a long time of Cap just having to hold the fort for me. So let's have a look. Boom, this should work. Will I come back to life? Will I come back to life? Maybe, maybe not.
Yes,
oh, look at that. You can see me using all the controls on the other thing. So I have come back to life. Welcome to the Geek Battle Show here on the Extreme Improv Extreme channel, as well as today on the Geek Battle YouTube channel, live for the first time in about a month and a half, 2 months. Capelthave, you are here. Others may arrive within time, but we're going to talk about a bunch of geeky things. We'll probably do some other things here and there. And Capthev, say hello to the people and give us a random geek fact, if you have one.
Hail from the land of Lionel Johnson, which is Sri Lanka, at least. Yeah, from Sri Lanka, and yes, this is me, Capthev. And my geek fact for today, I'm thinking one up right now. Yes. So, usually in vampire lore, the many ways to kill Dracula is stake through a heart. And then also garlic and stuff like that. But in Castlevania, that doesn't actually work, at least in Castlevania Lords of Shadow, where Dracula is basically unkillable, and the only thing that can maybe kill him is the cross weapon whip that the Belmonts use. That's the only thing that can do it. But even that is not 100% sure.
Yeah. So, are you talking about the Castlevania video games or like a Netflix show or something?
The video games. I played Castlevania Lords of Shadows.
Wow, like I played Castlevania 2 on the Nintendo Entertainment System, probably a little bit of Symphony of the Night on like the PS1, but I have not played Castlevania in a long time. I do not remember the rules. But Cap, that is definitely worth like a point. You're definitely winning so far today. We may be joined by Gerald. Gerald said that he intends to be here, but will be a little bit late. So audience, and I'm going to give you a random geek trivia fact as well. So let's have a look here. So today, Sony, this is another video game one related one. Oh, here comes Gerald. I'll bring Gerald in and then we can get going on this. Ta-da! Hello, Gerald. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody.
Good. Look, well. Gerald, we're on StreamYard today, so like I jumped the gun to go forward with it just to see they actually work.
Paler than usual because of StreamYard.
Yeah.
Even I look pale.
Well, there's all kinds of stuff that's going to happen here. But so Gerald, if you can think of a random geek trivia fact, I was about to give one. So in the video game world, like I think it was today or yesterday, they announced that the PlayStation 5 portable system, which just streams your games from like your PS5 onto like this handheld thing. It's basically a PS5 controller with a screen in the middle. It was previously known as Project Q, but they have now said the official title of it is PlayStation Portal, which I think is a bit confusing because the first handheld PlayStation was a PlayStation Portable. So from PlayStation Portable to PlayStation Portal, it's a bit confusing. But here's my actual trivia fact. The very first miniature PlayStation you could get was the Pocket Station. And they never released it in the UK, but I managed to get one anyway. And this was the first PlayStation portable. But it was kind of like the Dreamcast VMU, if you ever saw one of those. Yep. So how about that?
I have the Dreamcast.
You have the Dreamcast? Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I never knew about the other one.
Oh, what's your favourite Dreamcast game?
I came into it sort of late. Now I'm trying to remember. I really like, and it's been on other ones, Crazy Taxi.
Yes, I love Crazy Taxi.
I played that one.
Crazy Taxi is definitely the Dreamcast game I've played more than any other, just because it's so easy to keep returning to. But for me, it's going to be between Resident Evil Code Veronica and Shenmue. Did you ever play Shenmue?
I did not, but I think I actually have it.
Oh my god, if you have it, it's probably valuable now, but play Shenmue.
I have to see, yeah.
Yeah, it might not be.
Okay.
Shenmue 2, another gaming trivia fact for you here. Shenmue 2 never got released in the United States on the Dreamcast. It got released in Japan and it got released in the UK because when they announced that they're not going to do Dreamcast anymore, Microsoft were like, we're going to take the rights to Shenmue 2. And so it was going to be an Xbox exclusive other than outside of Japan. But a company, because Sega were like threw in the towel, a company in the UK had already bought the rights to release some games in the UK, and it included Shenmue 2. But the one problem it caused was that they were like, well, if you're going to make us release it in the UK, we're not going to translate it from Japanese. So the voices are all in Japanese, even though the first one, they'd got like English voice track as well. Anyway, I'm going to give myself a bonus point. I so seldom do this. Right, Gerald, say hello to the people and give us a random geek trivia fact if you have one.
Hey everybody. So I actually have a good fact. I trust the source on this, and he's pinged me like something that looks like it was written somewhere, so I haven't completely validated it, but I think it's a good one.
Okay.
So Peter Mayhew, when they were filming, which one is it here? Return of the Jedi. So it says when they were shooting Return of the Jedi, they had to do extra protective measures when they were doing the indoor scenes because they were concerned that Peter Mayhew, dressed up as Chewbacca, may be mistaken for Sasquatch, and people might want to shoot him.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
He only had certain areas he could go because they wanted to make sure he was safe.
Wow.
What place was they shooting?
Somewhere in California, I believe. Oh, wait, no, here it is. It says Northern California, close to the border of Oregon, which is, if you are subscribed to Sasquatch, is the prime Sasquatch area, so...
If you're subscribed to what?
If you believe in Sasquatch.
Oh, I thought you meant like if you were subscribed to the official Sasquatch podcast or something like this.
There's not one yet, but I'm sure at some point it'll be.
Do you know what? We're going to fact check that because I bet there is an official Sasquatch YouTube channel or podcast or something.
There's definitely official like Sasquatch watchers and trackers stuff.
Okay,
I don't know about Sasquatch him or herself.
Okay, so Cap, you know who we mean by Sasquatch, right?
Yeah, Bigfoot.
Okay, I was going to say, because there's different names for it. So, I would always... Do you remember...
We don't have a hairy ape man locally, but like in India, Nepal, they have the Yeti.
Yeah, see, there we go. Yeti, Abominable Snowman, Sasquatch, Harry and the Hendersons, it's all good.
But...
Oh, Gerald, I cannot hear you, Gerald.
For some reason, the video was delayed.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Don't worry, it happens to me. I can give you the quick fix for this. I'm going to end up showing StreamYard what's happening here, and then they'll be able to say,
it looks like it's back now.
It is.
That was really strange.
So if it happens, if you go onto settings, so anyone watching this is your StreamYard advice. Click on to settings, and then where it says camera, and then go on camera resolution. And you think, oh, do I have to put it lower? It doesn't matter. As long as you change it, it will fix it. So
even if you change it back to the same
even
thing.
if you change it higher or lower, if you're going slow, change it and it will fix it. Well, at least it does for me. That's the workaround I found. But there is a reason why I've subjected us to StreamYard today, and it's so that we can see some of the stories and stuff that we're going to look up. So for example, we're going to check in and see if there's anything you guys have seen or want to react to. But whilst it's happening, I'm going to find and locate the official Sasquatch podcast. So we're gonna see if this is an actual thing. But guys, is there anything you have seen, trailers, shows, movies that you want to react to this week? Campbellfaves, get the ball rolling.
I want to react to the Sasquatch thing first. So
yes.
Here's the weird thing. You know the Chinese Monkey King, right? Part of mythology and stuff like that. He was not actually part of Chinese mythology. He was a made-up character for a novel.
Wow.
Wait, who was?
The Monkey King, the Chinese
hero
type of thing. Yeah, so everyone thought it was basically Chinese mythology. It had to be Chinese mythology, but it was a fictional character. For some reason, it got so much absorbed into the culture, it became sort of a mythological figure. But here's the odd thing. There is actually a Supermanish monkey in Hindu mythology called Hanuman, which they used in Black Panther. Again, totally different continent. The Mbaku tribe was technically praying to. That's why when they were about to fight T'Challa, Mbaku says glory to Hanuman, and I'm like, what continent am I in now? But the thing is that we do have a Superman monkey. He lives up mountains. He's technically invulnerable. He's celibate for life. All that Boy Scout stuff. But here's the thing: we do not have a gorilla. We in India there's monkeys, and also in Sri Lanka there's monkeys. I mean, like super strong gorilla, you probably go with gorilla. I don't know how this super strong monkey thing got started without a gorilla in India.
Well, monkeys are pretty stinking dangerous. Like every now and then in the United States, you'll hear about spider monkeys that'll escape from the zoo, and like the news reports will be like, "Do not approach it. This thing will attack you and tear you up." And you see a spider monkey, and you're like, "Okay, that thing can't be that crazy." But I guess they're extremely violent, and they use teeth and nails.
When I was on a trip to Siberia, there would be monkeys around when I was in that place. And one monkey, I think he was the alpha or something like that, and he was always looking when people going by. And I was the dumb one who wanted to see I can play monkey business with monkey, and went, he suddenly charged at me, and I was like, shit, what? But I wasn't harmed, I was safe, but my cousin did get bit by a monkey.
The similar experience I had like that, I went to Kyoto in Japan, and there is a mountain where there are just like wild macaques living there. I've told this story on Extreme Improv or on this show before or something. And when you go up there, you basically go into a little hut. You can walk around and they're all everywhere. But if you want to feed them, you go in the cage basically. You go in a little room. There's like a window with like mesh or bars or whatever. And then you buy some food and you feed them. But they're not in the cage, you are. But there are signs everywhere saying, do not look them in the face. If you look them in the eyes, they will go crazy. I accidentally did this and one started screaming at me. And instantly this person at work was like, don't look at them in the face. I was like, I didn't mean to. Like this. And yeah, there's poo everywhere. We had a lovely time. Okay, speaking of poo everywhere, now I haven't found a podcast called the Official Sasquatch Podcast, but I know what I'm going to be creating tonight. But I did find Bigfoot's Wilderness Podcast, so shout out to them. They last did an episode, it would seem, on the 20th of September 2022, and it was called Bigfoot's Innocence, Yeti Talks, Interview with Ridge Walker in 2. Now, these people don't have a clue that they're being spoken about. And it lasted 94 minutes. Their previous podcast lasted 21. That's amazing. Look, all of their podcasts are about 20 minutes. And then they did 94 minutes and quit. So there we go. That is the best I can find for the Bigfoot's Wilderness Podcast, at least. So shout out to those guys.
Also, the Bigfoot thing's always slightly, I couldn't believe that people still trying to find Bigfoot. It's one of the easiest urban legends you can go, completely
what?
straight.
You saying you don't believe in Bigfoot?
Do you not believe in the Loch Ness Monster either? I mean, come on now.
No.
Hang on a second. I'm British. I'll defend that one.
But here's the thing. I grew up watching a lot of documentaries. When you watch a lot of documentaries, you get to the point that, that's probably not a thing.
Okay, well, look. Okay, I'm going to... So, what... Go ahead, Cap. Go ahead.
There was a show called River Monsters, where basically a British guy goes around the world and catches the biggest river fish that he could find. Yep. And what he assumed the Loch Ness Monster could have been is a Greenland shark.
Do you know what? It sounds like we're going down this rabbit hole, and I'm very happy to do it. I've been trying to get a conspiracy theory show going for many years, but
let's do it.
Let's do it, right? So first of all, I'm going to find as well. So the first thing I'll show you, this is why we need to be on StreamYard, guys. So when I share this time, is it still showing me? Oh, it's showing me the wrong stream. Right. Okay. I need to copy it onto the one that I was on. So, okay, I have to use this one window. So, if you've seen the Jungle Book remake, Gigantopithecus, right? Yeah. Basically, they're saying this is probably where the idea of Bigfoot or whatever came from. So this is on National Geographic. Now, they're saying that it was like 100,000 years ago. But what was if they were wrong? All it took is for one of these guys to survive into the 1980s, and then we get Harry and the Hendersons that I mentioned earlier. But look, so it was an orangutan. It was that big. If you see that, that is genuinely Bigfoot. How is that not Bigfoot?
Yep. I mean, a general size orangutan kind of looks like Bigfoot as well, I would say. They're fucking huge.
Yeah.
The males.
Oh, look, once again, it's like, there we go. So there we can see the picture properly. That is like next to a full-grown adult. So that is the Gigantopithecus. And I don't know if you guys can screen share. Feel free to find things if you want. But I'll show you the famous Loch Ness Monster. Loch Ness Monster photo. There is one particular photo in particular that is more famous than any other. I'll get it. Here it is straight away. Bringing it up. So there.
Yep.
That is just an elephant's trunk, is it not? It's an elephant in the water with its trunk up, and it's just breathing.
So, okay, but my question is why is there an elephant with his trunk breathing in Scotland?
Yeah, but was this photo taken in Scotland, or did someone just say, oh, look, I've taken a photo of Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Because this is definitely a photograph, but if it's not Loch Ness Monster...
It's a log.
A log?
I would 100% think it's a log.
I will say I definitely believe some of these cryptids and stuff, because truth is stranger than fiction. There was some sort of animal... I can't remember what it was, but
they
half
zebra-ish deer thing, which supposedly...
The Okapi?
I forgot the name of that thing, but it has the zebra's butt, technically.
And
it has the body of a deer.
Oh, yep. Well, that, and then there's the little deer that have, like, fang teeth.
Oh,
Vampire deer?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's bring this one up. So, this is a very different episode so far. We're going to get onto, like, Henry Cavill soon, guys. Oh my god! There is a vampire deer. Hang on, wait for this, guys.
It doesn't drink blood, but yes, they exist. And yep.
Oh my god!
There's actually a couple different ones, and I think they may actually... Do they live in Sri Lanka? I think they live in Asia, and then there's some that live in South America.
What is this? Siberian...
Okay, so what they do is they have these fangs instead of antlers because they live mostly in very viney and congested areas, and if they had antlers, they would always get their antlers caught in the ground or in the vines and trees and bushes and stuff.
That is so fascinating.
For some reason, they have fangs instead of antlers.
Wow.
Weirdest thing, but here's the thing: you might think deers and all the herbivores actually do kill small birds and animals and eat them at least once a month for protein and calcium.
They call it opportunistic carnivore. That's what they are.
Yeah, they do it because they need supplements and they can buy it in the store. So, dead bird, eat it. Yeah, we're herbivores still, but we have one cheap day.
Wow. Okay, guys. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I was going to say, there's animals and stuff that we've said that supposedly are extinct, and we find out 20, 30 years later that, oh yeah, there's actually a couple of these still hanging around. And there's actually some little like kangaroo mouse type thing, I think, in Australia that they recently found that they thought was wiped out.
Wow.
And now they have it on video and stuff. But I mean, to me, truth is stranger than fiction. And I'm not going to say that, all of those things are real, but all I have to say is I would not want to be out in the middle of nowhere in Oregon backpacking without something.
Wait, what'd you get in Oregon?
Oh, I'm just saying if that's where Sasquatch hangs out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Washington State and whatnot.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's not that. I mean, you'll hear some weird sounds and stuff, and I'm not going to say I don't know what it is, but again, truth is stranger than fiction at times.
See, I was in Washington State about 3 years ago, just before the pandemic, and there was a lot of Bigfoot stuff about, so yeah, of course. We kind of... Okay, so this is the closest I can get to my Bigfoot story. We went to a beach, which forever afterwards, my girlfriend and I always referred to as the dead beach. So we were through a national parky kind of thing, and it goes onto a beach. And I forget what time of year this was. It was about April. I wouldn't have thought it was as cold as it was. but on the beach there was like just tons of dead fish and things and stuff like this, dead crabs. But there was something which we took a photo of. I won't be able to find it straight away. Probably, well, I won't be able to find it during the show, I mean. But we couldn't identify what the hell it had come from. It looked like some weird pelvis. We were like, is this actually like a dead person? I think Sasquatch is a man-eater. That is my theory now, since I was in Washington.
There was a movie that depicted Bigfoot as a flesh-eating monster, right? Like an old movie, 70s movie, I think. I saw it on YouTube, a clip of it.
Well, okay.
Just basically kills people.
There's a couple books that have come out with that premise as well.
Well, I think I've got...
Smile.
So hang on, I'm going to show you the definitive man-eating Bigfoot, and there it is. It's Andre the Giant. Literally, Andre the Giant played Bigfoot. Isn't that incredible? And was it? Look at this. It shows it the $6 million man. So,
wow.
Yeah, that is that. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty good makeup. I'd believe it.
Yeah.
Like if I saw that coming towards me. But to be fair, if I saw that coming towards me, I'd be scared.
Still running.
What's I need to watch this. He like looked like he's gone through. Is that a cave or has he gone through like a portal in time?
It looks like a cave.
Oh, okay, it's a cave. I was thinking it was like a portal, like in Stargate or something.
When I was little, this was actually one of my favorite TV shows. I don't remember that one, but I used to call him the $6 Man.
The $6 Man.
How much I knew.
That's what I've grown up into. I am the $6 Man. But yeah, I love the 6 million. I literally remember very little about it. I know that it had the amazing sound effect when he would jump, like the.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is this the one where Bigfoot has a son?
Bigfoot? I don't know, to be honest. Like I've only seen photographs of this.
There's a YouTube channel that the weird TV show episodes, and they showed a Bigfoot TV show where Bigfoot has a son as well. And again, when Bigfoot jumps, or anybody jumps in that show, basically there's some music that plays.
Oh my god, I need to... Again, I'd find it and play it, but like it will probably ding a copyright thing.
So looping back to sort of geeky stuff.
Oh yeah,
why
not? Why not, Gerald? Yeah.
As well as cryptid stuff. Have you seen, and if you've not seen, you have to track it down and watch it. I don't remember the exact date, but the Star Wars holiday special with Chewbacca's family and I think Chewbacca's child.
No. I'll find it though. Holiday.
It's like an hour. I think it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours long. Parts of it are painful. Parts of it are good, but
I thankfully only saw a review of it, but still, I can't get that sound out of my head.
Oh my god!
It's interesting. Is about all I can say on it. Yes, that is. No, that's the grandpa. I think.
That's grandpa.
And there's a baby one, and then Chewbacca's mom and dad. I think.
Wow.
Or maybe just mom.
Okay, here we go.
I think it's wife. I thought that was Chewbacca's wife.
Yeah.
I need to work out how to just make these absolutely full screen.
Yeah, I'll have to find... There is a great article that was written probably about 5 years ago about it, and it is hysterical. It's probably about 5 or 6 pages long, but it is a riot. So this was when the... what was it? Variety shows, song and dance and stuff were sort of phasing out. And the whole thing was just it was bound to fail from the get-go.
So what, is this actually it?
That is part of it, most definitely. I don't know if it's the whole thing, but that is part
Oh
of
my
it.
god. This looks terrible.
Yes.
I've never actually watched it. So again, this would be terrible if the channel gets taken down because of this, but I haven't got the sound on. She looks so unhappy to be there. She looks like she's cosplaying as herself.
You waited till you see Harrison Ford. This face is right.
Wow. Star Wars Holiday Special has never had any kind of official release. They should release it. I mean, they understand. They did the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
So
Yeah.
So the most important thing of this entire holiday special, this is only like a little snippet of it because it's only a couple minutes long.
Yeah.
It is the first appearance of Boba Fett, and he's in the animated part.
There you go.
And Disney Plus actually supposedly has the animated portion on Disney Plus. None of the rest of it because they don't believe or don't want to admit that it exists.
Wow. I think that's amazing. It just looks so bad. Like the quality of it. Oh. No, that looks sweet.
Worth watching or not, but it's interesting.
I think it must be worth watching just if you're a Star Wars fan, so that you've seen everything.
Yep. The like 3/4 of it, and you only saw bits and pieces there, but 3/4 of it, like the first at least half, there is absolutely zero dialogue. It's all subtitled Wookiee speak.
Wow.
Like the first whole half. And then there's like a dancing part that you're just like, what the hell is going on? It is like a fever dream. I mean, it's something to have seen once and maybe never again, but
yeah. Well, like The Last Jedi. But, okay, Cap, you were going to say.
I was going to say, I don't know if this is successful or not. It definitely started a trend. And they did the same thing with the TMNT, and they did a Christmas special where the Turtles wanted to get a gift for Splinter. And oh my god, well, it's not as bad as Wookiees for you, but it's still bad.
So, what is this, the 2010 series or whatever?
No. 2010 series are all good. This is like back in the 80s when the movies and the 80s show was famous. They did a Christmas special. They even did a band tour, but go for the TMNT Christmas special and you'll probably see it.
Was it live?
I'm not really sure. I think so.
Or live action?
Yeah, it's live action.
Wow.
How about that?
And the whole plot is they're trying to find a gift for Master Splinter. That's the whole plot. And they sing and they do. Here's the thing, okay? I think Dave Meekin said this probably. Yes, you can have a Christmas special with Mickey Mouse and the princesses. I love that House and Mouse show that did that every holiday. But no Star Wars, no TMNT. Do an animated episode and just give it up with that.
Yeah, it's. I'll find the article and I'll send it to you guys because the article that talks about it, that actually was when I finally decided to look for it and watch it. It's special.
Are there other things like this which you've heard about for years but you've never seen? Like, on a show a few months ago, I spoke about the 1994 Fantastic Four film that was made simply so they didn't lose the rights. And I found it. It's on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's YouTube, but I found it. I watched the first 10 minutes of it, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to watch this. And it's like months later, I still haven't watched it, and it's like it's been available for however many years. But it's one of these things I do need to actually make myself watch at some point.
Yeah, I heard about it. That's when I really sort of got into comic books, which was sort of the dark ages of comic books, some people would say. And it was supposed to, I don't know if it was supposed to be bad or not, but I had heard speculation that it was decent, but it wasn't good enough to go. But to your point, they did it because they had to do something in order to keep or retain the rights or something, and they shelved it.
Yeah, but like its budget was, I think, $3 or $4 million. Even like when you consider that, like in 1991, like Terminator 2's budget was like $90 million or something insane for the time, and it's like, well, we're going to make not Teenage Mutant, we're going to make Fantastic Four, and we're going to spend $3 million on it, and they literally were just like, we're never showing this to anyone. But it genuinely, the clips I've seen, it isn't a bad film. It's just it might. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, the things costume actually look really good from the stills I've seen.
Yeah, I will find it.
So I mean, obviously, with $3 million budget, they didn't do any CGI or anything, and that was really before a lot of the CGI. But all things considered, I guess it was decent.
Well, again, like we might even be able to show it. I don't want to like take too much risk. I'm playing with fire by showing the Star Wars trailer, but it is a trailer. But for all I know, we could do a watch along of this, and it wouldn't harm things because it's not officially out there. Like I suppose Disney now owns this.
Oh my god!
Yeah. I know, it kind of looks terrible, but at the same time, it's not bad. Like, when you look at what they did actually use, it's like, that's not much better.
I don't know, the 2007 eyeglasses that I have makes me think that's a black better thing.
Yeah, but that...
I would say Darth Vader and the TMNT live action thing that they did in the 90s, that was pretty good. I didn't actually... I mean, that would have given me nightmares if I saw that as a kid. That kind of goes to the point that the thing is meant to be scary. But the 2000 one, I didn't get... You know the weirdest thing as a kid watching the 2000 thing when you're saying like, oh no, I'm a monster or something like that? We as friends took turns fighting who's going to be the thing and who's going to be the other characters because it was cool.
Yeah. No, I liked the thing. Yeah, it's just like I have so many questions about how the thing works. Like what is inside of him?
Stone heart and stone organs, basically like that. They
wow.
do an X-ray in the 2000 film.
Okay.
Well, and I think it varies because I thought there was something where he's mostly rock, but like he's actually like sort of human meat inside or something.
Can't they just like surgically remove the outer bit?
Sorry?
Like just do surgery and surgically remove like that, like the fleshy outer bit, just like cut it off if
the rocky part.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be rocky, but yeah.
In the 2000 movie, he was like inside and outside both rock. They do an X-ray in his lungs, and the heart literally goes like dunk, 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 and he goes like, "How bad is it? You know, I used to smoke." Again, I love that British guy who played Reed Richards. That was awesome. He gave the best expression. He goes,
What in like the one with Chris Evans in?
Yeah.
I don't even know who that actor is, but to me he was just like some absolute no one.
He was in the Dalmatians movie as well, and I thought
oh my god, yeah.
Really good because he was the enjoyable bit of the movie. I really liked his business.
Yeah, like I don't know. He didn't really seem. I don't think they're going to be bringing him into the multiverse in. Like I'm sure whoever he is, if you brought him into like the MCU now, people are just going to look at him and be like, "Who?" Like, I swear, like I wouldn't recognise him if I walked past him in the street.
I would think him and the Thing is probably the star. They never became stars. I mean, like Jessica Alba is always a star at that point, still I would say. And Chris Evans became Captain America, had a good career. The other two guys, and also Doom, I think the actor who played Doom, he was a big guy in 2000 playing villains, but then afterwards, nothing focus.
Yeah, Michael Chiklis was sort of, he was the one that played Thing. He was decently well known for a little while. I'm trying to remember the
Shield? The Shield,
yeah,
right? Yeah. But not Agents of Shield, even though he was yeah, look. So he's Welsh apparently. Like I wouldn't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. But look, so I'm making use of this StreamYard stuff so I don't have to like describe everything. But Ian I don't know, Crawford. And let's see what else he's done in like more recent years. He must be begging for the MCU to take him. Like it says that he's in stuff.
No, I'm talking about
I don't know any of these films.
I think he would have been really excited when the Avengers train was rolling. He would have thought, yeah, they're gonna bring this back. They're definitely gonna. I mean, we made money, right? And then they make the remake, and he saw the remake and probably went, "You replace this for these guys?
Yeah.
You know we made money, right?"
Well, the thing that's interesting is when Sony, I think, whoever had the Fantastic Four stuff, and I think it was shortly after Disney purchased Marvel, or maybe it was even just before, Marvel discontinued the Fantastic Four comics because they didn't want to help support another company making money on the brand, and it's only recently, I think, that they've actually started the comic back up.
Well, see, it was Fox, and this is like Fox, one of the crazy... Right. Yeah, this is one of the crazy things with the whole, like, Fox deal, is they're saying that a huge part of why Disney bought Fox was just so that they could get the X-Men and Fantastic Four in particular back, that they kind of wanted those so bad so that, you know, they could try to put their house back together. and Sony were like, we'll make a deal, but you are never getting Spider-Man back ever. We will keep releasing animated things, you know, so they'll never let them. And I agree. I don't think Sony ever should, because what's good about, like, when there was like, obviously the Tobey Maguire ones, but the Amazing Spider-Man ones, and it was separate, and everyone dreamed about, wouldn't it be good if Spider-Man was there? Well, Spider-Man is there now, and then there's all these problems happening in the world, just like we were speaking about Secret Invasion, and I'm like, why didn't Spider-Man help? You know, you're damaging the good name of Spider-Man that he wouldn't come and help solve this problem.
I don't need to take care of things in my neighborhood. That's what Mr. Strong said.
Yeah, friendly neighborhood.
Well, yeah, there you go.
He's got New York City to deal with, so.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But that's the problem with even, I would say, the Marvel thing. Everything is in New York. At least for the DC, they have Metropolis and they have Gotham. They can separate the heroes, but they just have New York. Avengers are in New York. The Spider-Man is in New York. It is a big city, but, you know, they have too many heroes.
Well, it's not actually that big. You know, there's a lot of people there. But it's not. You don't need that many superheroes to cover that area, because you have, who else is there? Is Daredevil in New York?
Yeah.
Daredevil's in New York. And Spider-Man, obviously, and Doctor Strange. Who else is in New York?
I would imagine the Fantastic Four are. I don't know exactly where.
Oh yeah, they are in New York. They are in New York.
And maybe the Avengers may have. I think they have their building in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The rest of the U.S. can go fuck themselves.
Well, it's interesting when you look at Marvel and DC, especially with the areas they made, because I think Metropolis is supposed to know. Gotham, I think, is supposed to be a stand-in for New York City. But the thing that's interesting about it is if you look at DC, until probably the last 20 or so years, most of the cities that they had were cities that don't exist. They were basically of their world. Their universe only, whereas Marvel, most of the cities they talk about, the major exception being Wakanda, and I think where Doctor Doom is, it's all like real, cities and places that you would potentially go and visit, which is just sort of an interesting difference between the two.
Yeah, what? Okay, so in DC, where is the Flash set? What's his city? I forget the name of it now. It's like Metro City or Super City.
Something like that. That's Edward City.
Wow, got it. Gotham City. Yeah, I suppose. Cruise Princess says, Arrested Development did the Fantastic Four. Did they? I don't understand that one. I don't know Arrested Development, to be fair, though.
In the movie,
either someone's in it or...
But here's the thing that I would bring up to the earlier point, right? So in the X-Men universe, the mutants are always persecuted. They are in New York, by the way. So what if, with all of this persecution, what was the Avengers doing? What was the Tony Stark doing? Not helping these, minorities and being registered and being beat down. This is the problem when you get to this one singular place. You gotta break it up. You gotta create more real places. Otherwise, it's not gonna make sense. I mean, technically, the Avengers can be mutants, and also Spider-Man.
The Central City is where
Central
Flash is.
City, that's it. Central City. Yeah, in the MCU, obviously Wakanda isn't a real place. I think I'm correct in saying that, right?
Yeah.
There isn't a Wakanda. But I don't.
Eddie Murphy did make the point. They just turned Zamunda or something that is coming back to America into Wakanda. They basically said that in an interview.
Yeah. Do you know? Have you seen Coming to America, the sequel?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It was okay.
It was terrible. Right. I thought I wanted to like that film so much, and I have a lot of opinions on it. But I think they did have a good joke in there where they were like, oh yes, people just think we're Wakanda and it's Zamunda and it's the same thing. The reason I didn't like that film is because they made Eddie Murphy's character the new king, and I understand that. But they made it so that he was less fun. It's like, I want to watch fun Eddie Murphy. Still have him having the mischief. Have the son as, the screw-up, but don't have Eddie Murphy as the serious one. You know?
I think there's also a new film that I was really excited about because it had Elaine from Seinfeld and also Eddie Murphy in that movie. I was excited to see that film, but then it was so boring, I just turned it off. So uncomfortable and boring, the movie. So I was like, the thing with like, so when you want your heroes to make a comeback, they might not do a very good job. At least the script might not do it. I think that's the reason why Eddie Murphy said to Jerry Seinfeld himself, like, why do you stop making movies? Like, I don't want to make another bomb. I don't want to make, what's the movie that he did, the Space Captain or something like that. I forgot the name of it. It was such a terrible movie that Eddie Murphy did to that.
Wow, what? Jerry Seinfeld was in a space film.
No, Jerry Seinfeld was interviewing Eddie Murphy.
Oh, okay. So the space film what was it? It was like
Meteor Man.
Meteor Man, yeah.
I think that's it.
Meteor Man. Or there may be.
It was a space detective, like.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Meteor Man. There's another one. Eddie
Murphy.
It's like Pluto Nash, right? Pluto Nash.
Oh, yeah, Pluto Nash.
Yeah, that film sucked.
He literally came out saying that why did you stop making movies with Jerry? It's like I don't want to bomb again. I don't want to make another Pluto Nash film, so it just stopped.
It's really weird that he had so many hits, and then in the 90s, he did Dr. Dolittle and Nutty Professor, and then when he made this. Dr. Dolittle was great, Nutty Professor was great, Dr. Dolittle 2, Nutty Professor 2 sucked. They were both terrible sequels. Like, terrible sequels. And then Bowfinger was great, but after Bowfinger, obviously he's got Shrek, so, you know, he still does Shrek, that's still good.
Yeah.
But then you had Dr. Dolittle 2, The Adventures of Pluto Nash, Daddy Daycare, I don't think that was so bad, Haunted Mansion. He was in Dreamgirls. Wasn't he even like nominated for an Oscar or something in that? Like Best Supporting Actor.
He was produced it, right? He was not in it, right?
I thought he was in it.
Yeah, I don't.
I'll fact check that one, but I'm pretty sure he is in it. Yeah,
There was also another movie, Meet Dave, which was also pretty good. It had other comedians in it as well, with a giant Eddie Murphy robot, and the tiny Eddie Murphy was piloting him along with other comedians.
Yeah, but you know, like, okay, so the rest of, like, some of these films here, like, after Norbit, which I don't think I saw.
It was pretty bad.
Was it? See, when you see the poster of it, where I think it's two Eddie Murphys, and one of them, he's playing quite a large, mostly naked woman. That's an interesting poster, right? I see that, and I'm like, well, Coming to America... And Nutty Professor, he played he played multiple characters, and it was a thing he often did. And yeah, this one just apparently isn't the same magic. But then
there's a movie called 1,000 Words, which is kind of a drama comedy, which I thought was pretty good. I think it came either 2012 or something like that.
Yeah. Wow, Tower Heist. I remember hearing of that's existence, but I never saw it. Ben Stiller. Whatever happened to Ben Stiller as well?
Oh, yes. I think he did animated movies after his off-screen appearance. I think the last thing he was hugely appeared in was the Night of the Museum films. And afterward, he just did a bunch of animated films, and then just stopped. Just said, okay, I'm out.
That's so weird. It's so weird how some of these guys just completely disappear.
But that kind of shows that why right now everything kind of sucks. Because like the good people that was like on a roll kind of just stopped and took a break. Even the animated ones. The guy Tom McGrath, he made Madagascar, he made Megamind, he made Penguins. Like he was pretty much just booming with them. But then he also was like, I'm gonna quiet down for a bit.
Yeah, but like I think comedies are pretty much dead nowadays, aren't they? Like, what was the last good comedy film? I literally can't think of a good comedy film. The closest I can think to a good comedy film is kind of like action comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
like,
there's one. I mean, there's ones that I think of, and they're definitely panned. They're not great, but I find them quite entertaining. Like a lot of Will Ferrell stuff. But I mean, it's not. Again, it's I think I go back to one of my favorite ones, which was probably bordering on 30 years ago now. Is Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
The original one.
Yeah.
The other ones obviously were not as great, but yeah, it is sort of interesting to see how things have sort of shifted, and then also like certain actors are definitely products of certain eras. So Eddie Murphy, 80s was his heyday.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller, pretty much 90s into early 2000s.
Yeah.
But it is sort of interesting to watch that. I mean, even if you look at older actors and stuff, like one that my wife likes watching a lot of her stuff was, what is her name?
What was she in?
Wanda Sykes?
No, I'm talking like black and white into color.
Black and white into color?
I can't remember her name. I'll remember it and it'll come out. But like she was huge for like, I think it was like the early, like maybe mid-50s to mid-60s. And then she just
Doris Day?
disappeared. Yes, Doris Day.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. So it's sort of interesting where people just sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I got Doris Day from the comments. So
I think my wife is the one that said that.
I just looked across.
Here's the recent film that I saw, we had John Cena and Jackie Chan in it. I think Hype Fast or something like that. I forgot the name of it. Just recently watched it. It was the same thing. Jackie Chan. I felt nostalgia. I watched it again. John Cena. I think they had great chemistry. Fun movie. Again, nothing serious. But again, Jackie Chan's kind of started off as serious, which worried me a little bit because like I was like, I don't want serious Jackie Chan, but then he just went to his usual antics, which I always love.
Okay, so yeah, like Jackie Chan, you think, right? So there was like a time period, like when I grew up. So I grew up and I've watched so many comedies, especially from the past. Like I grew up loving Abbott and Costello, and they're literally from the 40s and the 50s, and. Yeah, right. So, but anyway, so Abbott and Costello, and then I'd watch the Carry On films, which are a British thing, and there's all the comedies from the 80s, Eddie Murphy and Chevy Chase and Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, all these guys. And like in the 90s, yeah, Bill Murray started to fade out then, and like you got Dumb and Dumber, and I thought There's Something About Mary was brilliant. And those guys, like, their films, like, I didn't like Me, Myself and Irene very much, and I think they started going into a bit more crude humour, which I didn't think they needed to. But then I was like, oh yeah, Ben Stiller, Meet the Parents, Owen Wilson, it's like, with Jackie Chan, Shanghai Noon, and like, Jackie Chan, like,
love that film.
Yeah, and like Rush Hour, Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. I was like, this is like the greatest era of like comedy action films, stuff like this. You know, obviously a little bit before that, you'd have like Danny DeVito being paired up with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and there'd be all these like great comedies. And then, yeah, it's like what comedies are like. It's like when I think of comedy actors, I'm like, well, yeah, Will Ferrell, but he's kind of like a little bit older era now. Like it's like
also Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, he's probably the most recent.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Well, yeah, Kevin Hart and The Rock, you know, the ultimate dream team and stuff like. And I suppose Ryan Reynolds, but he does more actiony films, just where he plays Ryan Reynolds nowadays, and it will be funny. So that is true. But like, there aren't tons of like just comic actors nowadays. There's, you know, when you had like the era where it was like, well, there'd be Bill Murray, and there'd be Eddie Murphy or Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor, and I'm forgetting, blanking on so many of them.
Also, this is the thing, right? Like when also the comedians in the new era would come out, they would do a bit of the comics thing, doing stand-up, and they would eventually go on to movies or sitcoms. Comics kind of stopped doing that. Like think about it, like who's the famous stand-up comedian right now? You can like think of it at Eddie Murphy level. I can't really say. I mean, Kevin Hart still does a lot of stuff, but I would still go back to Chris Rock, which I think is a better after Eddie Murphy. But again, the era is very barren, and even those who come out do talk shows instead of like doing movies and stuff like that. Trevor Noah is not going to make a movie. They're going to play Trevor Noah, the hero.
Go on, Jared. You were going to say?
Well, I was going to say there's probably about 5 or 6 like big time comedians that are out. I mean, some have tarnished names and stuff, like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
The Australian guy, I can never remember his name, but
Jim Jeffries?
Pretty funny. Jim Jeffries. One guy who's a little bit cleaner, who actually we saw in person was awesome, was what is his name? He's a chubbier, balding, white guy. He's hysterical. I can't remember his name now.
Okay, let's...
Hard. But I mean, you look at the list, and then there's I think 3 or 4 female comedians that do really well. Is Isla Flesher or something like that? I can't remember their names now.
The only female comedian that I could really think of is Wanda Sykes. I've seen 2 of her specials. But mainly because Wanda Sykes, the reason why I recognized her is I never knew that because like when I was a kid, she was on multiple cartoon shows as a voice actress. And I always thought her voice was funny, but then I realized she's a stand-up comedian and I watched her stuff. Yep. But other than that, I have 0 female comedians. I know female comedian actors, but not stand-ups. I don't know.
Like Sarah Silverman, she's an example of like stand-up comic, and then she's been in movies.
She sort of faded out too, because she was huge for probably the 2000s.
Yeah.
And then she sort of, you haven't heard much from her. I guess here's some of the big names I was trying to think of. Ricky Gervais, you don't hear him doing too much stand-up lately. Theo Vaughn, he's a newer, younger guy. Tom Segura, his special was pretty good. It just came out. Bill Burr.
I like Bill Burr. Bill Burr was on Star Wars, wasn't he? That's the one and Breaking Bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
John Mulaney. But I mean, the names are not as... You still have some big names, but they're not as huge. Jim Gaffigan, that's who I was thinking of. They're not as big. And then I guess the other one is Gabriel Iglesias, known as Fluffy. He's a big name guy.
Trying to like...
But yeah...
Yeah, like perhaps like I assume these are all like American guys and stuff, right?
Yep.
Like
the one,
go on.
Jimmy Carr, I think, is one of the few.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch that we like have in the UK, and I'm trying to think of. There's this guy I literally saw him. I was like, just 1 second, I'm going to find it because I saw his show, I did a review of it, and he's quite a big deal. I think he's maybe well known enough in the States, but for the life of me. Let's have a look here.
But UK does have David Stansky.
Yeah, I need to get into doing more stand-up. I did a bit, like, I've done some, like, years ago, and I did some during the pandemic Zoom stuff. But I do actually need to get back into that, because, like, as much as I love improv and like, all these shows and stuff, just being able to have a show that you can, like, take anywhere with one person, is awesome. Jack Whitehall. Do you know Jack Whitehall? Oh wow. Do you know what? He does like a travel show as well, where he goes around places with his dad. He's got like Netflix stuff, and he's actually really, really good. And he will do stuff that's like a bit more risque in that, but mostly he's a bit of like a goofy personality in that, and I think he's quite likable and stuff, but yeah, like the only one I think from that list we said of, like, at least that I know of, like I know that Bill Burr then like was in Star Wars and Breaking Bad, but it's not like we're saying about Eddie Murphy having a stand-up special and then having a movie. Yep. Yeah, it's hardly any that seem to do that nowadays. It's I think there's a few reasons for that, because I think a lot of stand-up nowadays really leans into as many of the controversial subjects as possible. And when you do that, you're not then going to get put in a Disney film. You're not going to get hired by Warner Brothers if you discuss all anything that's controversial. But I think the competition, like in stand-up, just means like, we have to be edgy. And that was like a thing. Richard Pryor was edgy for Richard Pryor's day, but like Richard Pryor nowadays, if like Richard Pryor was suddenly transported from the 80s to modern days, he'd see what else is out there, and he'd really have to rethink his material, because it would seem like, I'm not saying it'd seem tame or it would be bad, but it wouldn't be that he was the cutting edge guy anymore, because things have progressed so much.
In the interview that Eddie Murphy did, he would say even at that time, like when Eddie Murphy was coming up, if I think Richard Pryor or Bill Cosby, like they would leave if Eddie Murphy was performing that night.
Who, Richard Pryor?
Like, I think Richard Pryor as well. So if Eddie Murphy was performing, they were like, okay, we can do after him, and they would just leave. And that's the thing that he really experienced. And he said that at that time there was like one the African American comedian at a time, and then afterwards you just get move out of the way. And that's kind of the thing that was happening at that time. But then later on, everyone's like too many comedians were up, so that was okay at that time. But he just did mention that he was it was in heydays, like when he was coming up. A lot of other comedians would not perform when he was about to perform.
Okay, yeah.
So I was looking through the list, like Chris Rock, he still does comedy. He did a little bit in TV and stuff, but he's had some stuff. Dave Chappelle, obviously,
Madagascar
comedy, but he's had some issues or challenges.
Well, yeah. So okay, so let me.
Amy Schumer's the other one too, and she had some movies, but again, I think now that she's married and has a kid and stuff, that sort of phased out. But she still, does that sort of edgy-ish humor.
Yeah.
I would say like the last couple specials I've seen of hers, maybe 10%, 15% is funny. The rest is just like shock.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was going to comment on a couple of those there. So first of all, Chris Rock, like really weirdly, like he then like, do you remember Spiral from the Book of Saw? And it was like Chris Rock came up, and when they hyped that, I was like, what, Chris Rock is going to be in a Saw movie? And it was like, yeah, he pitched us this idea he'd had, and it was something that we'd never been done before. When I watched it, it was exactly the same as every other Saw movie. And I was like, yeah, cool, you wanted to do like a dramatic role in a horror film, and Chris Rock in a horror film, you don't expect that. But yeah, it was like, it was fine, but it was just, it was just another Saw film. But that was super surprising, and it's like, well, why don't you do a comedy? Try doing a comedy. You're great with Madagascar, you're right. But also, first time...
Dad had a funeral.
Yeah, it was good.
The first time, my first exposure to Chris Rock was in Lethal Weapon 4. And I thought he was awesome in that, because he plays the guy, he's going out with Danny Glover's daughter. And he's like, he wants to marry Danny Glover. No, that's not, he wants to marry Danny Glover's daughter. But Mel Gibson says like, hey, this guy, he kind of likes you. And so when Chris Rock goes up to Danny Glover, and he's like, hey, there's something I need to talk to you about. And Danny Glover's like, I know what you want to talk to me about. He's like, you do? He's like, yeah, I do. It's like, well, I thought I should come and speak to you. It's like, well, I'm not okay with it. And he's talking about the wedding. Whereas Danny Glover's saying about that, I think you fancy me. And it's brilliant. And I was like, wow, this guy's going to be like a superstar sort of thing. He was like stealing the scenes that he was in. But yeah, like it's weird that, and Dave Chappelle. The first time I saw Dave Chappelle was in The Nutty Professor, because he was when Eddie Murphy's character, and he's like Sherman Klump and he's big before he gets turned into skinny Eddie Murphy. He goes on a date with a girl, and they go to a stand-up comedy night, and they're sat basically in the front row. And Dave Chappelle is like this shock comic on the stage, and he's like, and Eddie Murphy starts seeing that he's taking the piss out of everyone. He's like, oh, I better leave, and he turns around like this, and suddenly Dave Chappelle's like, oh, it's going to be a full moon tonight, and he starts ripping into him. And I was like, genuinely, this is so good. But then, and I know he did Chappelle Show, and then he disappeared for 10 years, and he came back, and now he's seen as controversial and that. But again, like movies, like what, there are none of these comics go in, like Sarah Silverman. I don't think Chris Rock is controversial, other than he was slapped, which was controversial in a different way.
Yeah.
But like Sarah Silverman, she was in, again, voiceover. She was in Wreck-It Ralph, if you know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. Cap gone.
Vanellope.
Wasn't it Vanellope?
My hat keeps Vanellope, I think.
Vanellope, yeah.
Tweets. But with the first time I saw Dave Chappelle was the parody movie guy who did Dracula and stuff like that. Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks is Robin Hood Men in Tights. That's the first time I saw
Dave Chappelle's in that?
Yep.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's in that.
No way! I've got to watch that film again. I know exactly who the character is. I did not realise, because I haven't seen that in so many years, that's Dave Chappelle. I love Robin Hood Men in Tights.
And I loved it. And there's also another movie. Eddie Griffin was another comedian who came up in the 90s, I think.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, he did a movie called Undercover Brother, And
Yes.
again, Dave Chappelle was in it, and Neil Patrick Harris was in it as well.
Wow.
So funny.
Oh, that's right. Dave Chappelle was in A Star Is Born. I
Wow.
forgot that. He was.
Oh,
He
yes,
was actually really
the
good in
Brad- the
it.
Bradley
He
Cooper
was
one.
very serious in it, and he was actually really good in that one. In that type of role, which I wouldn't have expected.
But here's the thing with the Chappelle show, though. That was a big controversy in season, which I didn't aware of and only found out later on because of his stand-up special and stuff came like that. He basically, like, the Comedy Central gave him a very bad deal, and that's why he didn't want to do another season. And they said, like, they were offering him, like, tons of money. And he was on Oprah, by the way, explaining about this. And they kind of did bad stuff to him, tried to say that he was on drugs, that's why he walked away from the deal and stuff like that. They kind of tarnished his name. And that's why Dave Chappelle went away and then started doing stand-up again. And somehow ended up in Netflix. And then he made his rise again. And he was very vocal about the problem that he had with Comedy Central. And he said, like, the reason why, like, a lot of countries, like, if you don't walk away, you're gonna become a cog in the machine. Or if you walk away, they will tarnish your name. And he says, like, a really good life story stuff about his whole career.
Like, I was just looking here, like Robin Hood Men in Tights. So I've only been able to cope up to that stage, Cap. So sorry about everything you've said since. But just looking at the character here. So Dave Chappelle played a Chew, which, if you remember, was like, I am a Chew, son of a sneeze. And then a sneeze, looking at this, was played by Isaac Hayes. And wasn't that Chef in South Park?
Yes.
That's insane. Like, I need to watch these old films, like, to see who else is in it.
This movie is so great. That was my first Mel Brooks parody movie that I saw. I loved it so much that I was like, I need to see, like, and that was my first introduction to Hollywood parody movies, I would say.
Yeah.
Than scary movies. But scary movies kind of ruined parodies for me, I would say.
You don't like Scary Movie?
I liked up to the third one where the ring girl comes up
yeah.
and they have a fight. But then afterwards, scary movies dropped in quality. So
I liked the first one. I hated the second one. I thought the third one was the best one. And then the fourth one, I don't even know if they made a fifth, to be honest. But I don't think I even particularly saw them.
So. Yeah.
They made so many parodies in the 2000s, like the Pirates of the Caribbean parodies, the Twilight parodies, which I'm going to see actually, because like Twilight is a parody on its own, so I want to see how a parody of Twilight could look like.
Wow. Like,
so there were at least 5 scary movies.
Wow. I've definitely said this before, but Not Another Teen Movie was joint place the worst film I've ever seen in the cinema. That and it is the Into the Woods with James Corden. I thought was like terrible, and I paid to see both of these. But Not Another Teen Movie is terrible, and it goes on the logic that, like, when you get a teen movie, it's kind of it's like American Pie, and I'm trying to think what else was big at the time. But if you do a parody of a comedy, you kind of break the comedy because the comedy is funny. If you take something serious and then you twist it and now it's funny. But if you take something that's already funny, you twist it, it's not funny anymore. They've just got, like, the logic for that film completely wrong.
I think that's the problem with the Pirates films as well, because, like, Johnny Depp was basically the parody of the whole pirate universe, I would say. He kept making fun of the whole situation that he was in. But then you do a parody movie of that, we already know the jokes.
Yeah. You can make a parody of something serious. I don't think you can make, like, a parody of something that's already meant to be comedy.
One thing I enjoy, and I'm sure a lot of people won't, but I would highly recommend it, is Tenacious D, and even their movie, but their music. So it's Jack Black.
Yeah.
And he has a friend, and they both play, and they're, like, incredible musicians, but they play guitar and they sing. And, I mean, it is like rock parody type stuff. So it's a little bit like some of the stuff he did on School of Rock.
Sure.
He did, I mean, I highly recommend it.
I do want to see it. I've never literally seen that film.
Oh, School of Rock, it's pretty
Oh, no, School of Rock I've seen. But what is the it's called, like, Tenacious D in the something of something, right?
Pick of Destiny.
Pick of Destiny, Yep.
Is that the one where they play against the devil?
Yes. And I think it's Dave Grohl that is the devil.
Okay, do you know what? Like, something worth mentioning is, like, Jack Black. Okay, he is, even though he goes back years now, but it's like he's a comic actor. And it's like, I'm trying to think, like, since Jack Black, Will Ferrell era, who are the comic actors?
I would say only Kevin Hart.
Yeah, you're right. It's Kevin Hart.
That's the. I mean, that's the also like they also made fun of him as being the only one as well. Like I think Chris Rock already made fun. Like Kevin makes movies fast. We can't keep up with Kevin.
Because even if you look at like SNL, because that's where a lot of the people came from. You look at Tina Fey, but again, she was like probably 2000s because she did 30 Rock and some of that other stuff. And then there was a couple other comedian actresses that came out of that too that were really good. But Kristen Wiig and what's the other lady's name?
Is it the ones that were in Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig, Gerald, if you haven't seen, watch the Looney Tunes 2011 where Kristen Wiig plays Lola Bunny. The best thing. It is the best thing.
Okay, so here's the thing. I searched on Google. Let's bring it up. In fact, let's use my street. This is why we're on StreamYard, guys. So I can share stuff because I think this will be interesting to just check out. I searched comedy actors 2020, and it comes up current comedy actors. And it says Jim Carrey, age 61, wow. Ben Stiller, 57, wow. Kevin Hart is 44, Bill Murray, 72, Rob Schneider, 59, Vince Vaughn, 53, Andy Samberg, 45, who's this? Marlon Wayans, 51. Let's see if there's anyone who is like in their 30s.
I think Seth Rogen is also quite recent, but
Jonah Hill, 39. Wow. Who did you say, Cap?
Seth Rogen, but I don't like him personally. So
he's 41. 41. So, but it does feel like we're missing a new generation. Like Seth Rogen, Will Ferrell, Jonah Hill is the youngest one on this list, I believe. Yep. Melissa McCarthy is 52. Dave Chappelle, 49. Sacha Baron Cohen, obviously there was like Borat and all that stuff. He's 51 now. Like Adam Sandler is 56, and you still get like new Adam Sandler films on Netflix and stuff.
Oh, Murder Mystery is so good. I think
that one's good. Yeah, he's had some bombs with it, but that one was really good.
Paul Rudd is 54 years old. What?
Yeah,
hasn't aged for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean he was in Friends, obviously.
Are immortals.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Steve Carell. You know, Zach Galifianakis, none of these guys are young anymore.
No. But also here's the thing I would say when you think about films and sitcoms, I would say stand-up comedians like Jack Black, I'm not really sure he was a stand-up comedian ever, but he also became very well known to us mainly because he did Kung Fu Panda. Otherwise, I wouldn't have basically known Jack Black. I would have seen him in occasional movies, but I wouldn't know who that guy was.
Oh, dude, School of Rock, come on.
No, I haven't even seen School of Rock.
You got to see that one. Well, I think was it Armageddon he was in? He was like a second, third level character.
I don't think he was in Armageddon
or something like that.
Jack Black weirdly was in he was in Enemy of the State with Will Smith as like a computer tech guy. He might have been. I'm going to look it up. Maybe he is.
I would say he is hands down one of my favorite actors and stuff, and he seems like and hopefully he is a legitimately like awesome person.
What, Jack Black? Yeah, I think he is. All of the interviews and stuff, like he was Bowser in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah,
and you can see how thrilled he is to be that role.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I've seen a couple things where he had there was I think it was a kid who had cerebral palsy, and he was talking to him about his favorite movie, which was School of Rock, and he was like doing some quotes from it, and like really just was an awesome experience for the guy.
Yeah,
which I think was just incredible.
Okay, so here's some early Jack Black films which you may be surprised about. Demolition Man in 1993.
Wow.
It says he played
again to see where it was.
Wasteland Scrap. He played, so he's probably like in it for 20 seconds or something. But he was apparently in Waterworld. Oh no, it says deleted scene. Oh my god. And he played a pilot. He was in The Cable Guy, which I never really got on with that film. So he was in Mars Attacks. Then he was in Enemy of the State. I Know What You Did Last Summer. And let's see.
Also, I think he was the leader of the Nasties.
Okay, the first films which I knew him from were Shallow Hal. I really like, and that's again, I think, another one from Dumb and Dumber. There's something about Mary. Those guys, and Orange County, if you remember that.
If you haven't seen that one, because that's sort of a hidden diamond, I think that one I highly recommend.
What, Orange County? Yeah, that's a good film. Really good film. And like that was a film which starred like Tom Hanks' son, who looks exactly like Tom Hanks.
Wow.
Yeah. Like and that's like, have you seen Jumanji with Jack Black Cap?
Yeah.
So you know what, the kid when he like grows up at the end, like the one that's trapped in the game, that is Colin Hanks. I'll bring him up. Yeah. So like,
Jonas.
When he grows up, he becomes Colin Hanks, and that like he is Tom Hanks.
I'm not seeing it.
You're not seeing Tom Hanks there?
I'm not seeing Tom Hanks there. I see an odd, weird...
Oh my god, he looks exactly like his dad. It's insane.
Yeah.
He looks like a villain. He would look like the sniping villain.
That actually may be taken from... He was in the TV show Dexter. That actually might have
Oh
been
my god, you're right.
when he was doing that.
Yeah.
Most of his stuff has been sort of light, but he has done some darker stuff too.
But
wow.
That's also, like, you can see in the time period as well, in the early 2000s, you can see most of the comedians did animated films. Like Chris Rock, Ben Stiller still did other movies as well. That's the thing that they, instead of going for sitcoms, they went for animated movies. I think that's kind of happened because the last famous sitcom, I would say, that had relatively good after Friends, I would say, was How I Met Your Mother. And even that had a worse ending. But afterwards, like, sitcoms itself, like, I don't watch any new sitcoms. I watch Seinfeld, like, at now, in my teens, when I realized Jerry Seinfeld was a comedian. I saw him first in B-Movie as the voice actor. I always liked the voice. Then I realized he was a comedian, and so I watched Seinfeld.
Yeah. Okay, guys, just keeping an eye on the time here. Because time is getting away from us. And look, I think, have either of you seen like the Ashoka Star Wars series? Because I think it's started. So I like, when I was just looking up, I was any breaking news. I realised I haven't watched this at all. So at some point I'll watch that and we can perhaps talk about it like another time. But
Which one's that one?
On Disney Plus, the Ashoka series.
Oh yeah, I think it just came out this week.
Literally probably in the last 24 hours or something.
As a Clone Wars fan, I want to see it, but also after The Mandalorian Season 2, I'm not really interested in Star Wars that much, so we'll see.
I like the Mandalorians. I thought were good. I really enjoyed the Obi-Wan. I thought that was an awesome one.
That ruined, because for me, the first action scene, that I was like, no, stop. Then I stopped it.
The one I have not watched any of is Andor, and I heard it was really good.
Yeah, everyone said
it just was slow starting, and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
I will.
But no, like I really liked The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian Season 2. I trailed off on Mandalorian Season 3. I watched all of Obi-Wan, and what was the other live action one they did?
Well, Season 3 is the new one, right?
Yeah.
Season 3 was... Yeah, okay, that ruins.
What was the other one they did? Andor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I trailed off on that one as well, but you know, I do want to like get back into it. Just if nothing else, it'll give me something to talk about on the show. But okay, let's begin to wrap things up with a guessing game. And guys, I'm gonna say to you now, I'm gonna give you the challenge. You come up with it, because there's three of us. This will be over in like 1 minute's time. So come up with something, and then like we can either you guys can challenge me back or whatever. Or we can challenge each other. So, Cap, what would you like to guess? A movie, TV series, a character, a book, a comic? What would you like to guess?
I don't want to say book because I want to challenge you back, so I'm going to go with a movie.
Okay, so I'm going to find a movie for you, Cap. And let's see what we've got here. We'll take a second. Okay, so the movie here. Oh, okay, this is interesting. One, and your time starts now.
Was this in the 2000s?
Since then, but not 2000 to 2010.
So after 2010.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the superhero film?
No.
Is this a fantasy film?
No.
Is this a sci-fi film?
No.
Is this the drama?
Yeah, ish.
Drama/comedy?
No, it's not comedy.
Drama/action?
Definitely action, but not strictly action. Specific action.
Specific action.
Yeah.
Is it an erotic drama?
No. Erotic action. No.
Is there a well-known actor starring?
Yes.
Is it male?
Yes.
Is this well-known actor been in an MCU film?
Yes.
Oh, has he played a significant character?
Yes.
Is he one of the original Avengers?
No, but that is time. Okay, Gerald, how do you...
Shit!
Okay, look, because there's only two of you. If you don't get it, I'll then give you both an extra moment, an extra minute. Okay, Gerald, over to you.
Of course, I completely went blank on it. Drama, action-ish. Is it a part of a trilogy, or is it a part of a multiple movies?
Yes, it is.
Is it any of the 007s?
No.
Is it based on a book?
No, it's not.
Is it have any horror stuff in it?
No.
Go with the actor, Gerald.
Is it animated?
No, it's not.
Is an MCU actor.
Is it Ryan Reynolds in it?
No, but that is time. Okay, I'm going to give you both one additional minute on this one. Go.
Is he from Phase 4?
No.
Does he have his own MCU TV show now?
No.
No. Is he Paul Rudd?
No. You can both ask questions.
Oh.
MCU, not the original Avengers.
Is he from Spider-Man?
He's not in Spider-Man. What was that, Cap?
Is he in the X-Men universe?
No.
Fantastic Four?
Yeah, yes, but no, but yes. Go down that road. You're going to get there if you go that route.
Oh,
Black Panther?
He's in Black Panther, and he's in Fantastic Four.
Is he Chris Evans?
No!
The guy that played Black Panther.
Yes, it is. It's Michael B. Jordan. What's the film?
Is it Creed?
Yes, it is! There you go.
Good.
Well done, you got there. Wow, just in time.
Drama/action.
Well, yeah, action is it's a boxing film. You know, it's like, well, what is that? It's a sports biopic. It's not even a biopic.
I mean, not a biopic. I mean, technically,
it's a sports drama thing. Right, Gerald, what would you like to guess?
I'll do movie again.
Okay, let's see what we've got for you. Let's see. Okay, your time starts now.
2000s?
Yes. 2000 since then.
Okay. Horror?
No, so 2010s, just to be clear. It's not horror.
Okay. Sci-fi?
Yes.
Animated?
No.
Is the lead character male?
Yes.
Is it take place on Earth?
Yes.
Is it a series?
Yes.
Or part of a series? Is it Predator or Prey?
No, it's not.
Is it part of Aliens?
No.
Is it part of? I don't know. Does it have aliens in it?
No, it doesn't. But that is time. Cap, handing over to you. Go.
Is it a horror film?
No.
Sci-fi.
It's sci-fi. Okay. Is it sci-fi comedy?
No.
It's just sci-fi.
Well, it's a tiny bit of humor in there. It's not a comedy though.
Okay, so it has series of film. It came out in the 2000s?
2010s.
10s.
2010. Sci-fi 2010s. Is it the Hunger Games?
No.
Is it Divergent or something like that?
No.
No. Is the lead character male? So,
Yes.
Yeah, there's a couple of films. Does it have a well-known actor starring in it?
Yes.
Ooh, is he been in an MCU film?
Yes. Yes.
Is he Tom Holland?
No.
Is he one of the original Avengers?
No. No.
Is it Benedict Cumberbatch?
No.
But he's from that era of Avengers.
Yes.
Is it Tom Hiddleston?
No. That is time, but between you get one more minute. Both of you go.
Avengers. Is he in Phase 4?
Definitely.
Does he have his own TV show?
Actually, he might not be, but no, he doesn't have his own TV show. Phase 4 might have skipped this person. I'm not sure.
Ooh. Does he have superpowers? The character he played in the MCU?
Not especially. At one point, yes, but not really.
1 point, yes, but not really.
Is it Ready Player One?
No, it's not.
Was he in Avengers Age of Ultron?
No.
Was he in Infinity War?
Yes.
That had so many people. did he play Bucky Barnes?
No.
Is he Star-Lord?
Yes.
Oh, it's Chris.
You got 2 seconds.
Is it
Go on, go.
Passengers?
Is it what? No, it's not Passengers.
Is it not Jurassic Park? What sci-fi did think you did?
Yeah, it is that.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1?
No.
Galaxy 2,
It's Cap. I'll give it to you based on it's Jurassic World, and that is time. That is time. Guys, we have. Oh, what? The dinosaurs. How is that not science fiction? What?
But for Gerald, it's not because he's cloning one right now.
But the weird thing is, I understand what you mean. It doesn't feel sci-fi, but there are dinosaurs. It is. It has to be.
We can still clone a dinosaur. So
Dino-fi, not sci-fi.
Like everyone assumes like science fiction means that there's alien robots in outer
space.
Yeah, exactly. But
okay.
like that is the weird thing, because when I think technically, like Armageddon is science fiction because they're drilling on a meteorite and that may not be possible. So it's science.
That's science fantasy, David. That's
is
science
it?
fantasy.
I don't know. Guys, basically though, we have run out of time because I do need to start the other show in 3 minutes, and I've got like new people joining or something. I don't even know, to be honest. Right. So anyway, where can we? But next time we'll definitely make it so you guys can challenge as well. We'll just start earlier to do it. So Cap, where can the people you are Geek of the Week, by the way, Cap. You got those points there.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
So where can the people find you, Capelfave?
Because it's not Zoom, I don't have my background.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You can find me on Swordbeats, where I sing, I dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I work with puppets. TMNT, my review on it is still on there, and there's a new short, which is going to be kind of stand-up based, because I'm kind of doing a reply video to a stand-up comedian. It's going to be about temperature, so you will probably learn something. So stay tuned to that, and you can find me on the newer shows.
Okay, and hang on, Cap, I have a surprise for you here. So look, there you have SWAT Deeds, even though we couldn't put it up behind
you. No, you found a loophole!
Okay, Gerald, where can the people find you?
Here on Geek Battle, and then I do have an Instagram page. It is Gerald Geek, all one word, Gerald with a J. And yeah, had a great time. Thank you. Congrats, Cap.
Yes, pleasure as always. My name is David Psansky. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at David Pustansky, spelled Pustansky, because I don't often have this to hand nowadays. I'm going to show off. You can also get the Extreme Improv board game, the Extreme Improv, improvise your way out of this board game. So do check that out. It's all on the website, which I can't point to here because I don't have it up on screen. But it's like this background is I did a show a few weeks ago with someone else. That's how come I realised this could still work on StreamYard. And I've got this background, and when I put this on, I was like, I don't have the time to change that. So I'm just in some weird alley at the moment. Right. Anyway,
I can see revenge in the top of your.
Yeah, but that's like the background behind everything. It's not the background behind me. Right. So anyway. Until next time, guys, check out Extreme Improv in a minute on the Extreme Improv channel. Smash that subscribe button on youtube.com/@geekbattle. If you're watching this on YouTube, on the Extreme Improv one, go